You're not going to tell me this isn't important. This is absolutely awesome. Thing is about portals, how the fuck do you activate them? But this is indeed a portal. In fact, let's continue to walk in front of it. What is that?
Hold the light right there. Sir, you okay? Stay with me.
Oh my God.
Back up.
Y'all, this flood that just took place in Mexico for the past couple of days is a lot more severe than the media is leading up. Matter of fact, the media is not even speaking up about this. I feel like this is another Hurricane Helene incident. Remember the incident that happened with Hurricane Helene in Asheville, North Carolina? This is literally another, look at this, y'all. It's another incident. And once again, the media is silent. Do you guys know it's been 12,600 people that are unalived in this situation and 32,000 people are missing? I bet you guys didn't know that. You guys didn't hear about that. Look at the destruction that this flood has caused all over Mexico. This is in, my goodness. And the crazy thing about it is there's a lot of destruction happening all over the planet and the media is silent. The infrastructure of Mexico is completely ruined.
12,600 dead so far, 32,400 missing in Mexico. The storms, the hurricane, the flooding, a lot of displaced families, a lot of people missing, 32,400, and confirmed deaths, 12,600.
There's a lot of cataclysms that's taking place around the planet that the media is completely silent on. It first started with Asheville, North Carolina, and it's a continuing thing. It's an ongoing thing. They're not speaking up about a lot of these things, but yet they want to talk about No King's Day and the government shutdown and all that. What about these lives lost? 12,000 people, yo? And then the fact of the matter is, they still haven't confirmed how many people were confirmed dead in the North Carolina Asheville incident. I believe this is a new norm, y'all. I truly believe this is a new norm.
Luigi's Mansion in an abandoned mansion. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Did you guys see?
I'm just trying to do my homework, guys. I look up and I see this. Are you an owl? You're scaring me, Mally. Kiki, you're scaring me!
Oh nah, y'all. I can't unsee it now, y'all. Where's this girl at right now? Can anybody tell me where this little girl is? What's her name? Somebody find her. Why is Obama all between her neck like this? Who is she to him? Is this the same little girl right here that was just in that picture? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. To me, that looked like the same little girl. Let's have a look. Look like they got the same features. That's what it appears to me. What do y'all think? And is that George Clooney? So you got Obama, George Clooney, and what I think is that little girl. So we got a couple questions here, y'all. Is that the little girl? And why are George Clooney, Obama, and the little girl on the boat? And then, y'all, why is he adjusting his pants? What is going on? We need some answers down below. Somebody help me out with this. I'm not gonna lie, this is highly, highly disturbing.
Back in the 1980s, there was a strange and unsettling Mexican children's show called Odyssey Bubbles. On the surface, it seemed harmless, colorful characters, cheerful music, and friendly puppets. But over the years, rumors began to spread that the show had a lost episode that was far darker than anyone could imagine. According to those who claim to have seen it, this broadcast only aired once, late at night, and it was nothing like the usual happy adventures. The puppets didn't move, they just sat completely still. One of them, Mimoso the rat, was shown staring blankly at a TV screen, his eyes missing. The usual cheerful theme music was gone, replaced by the sound of slow, heavy breathing and faint crying in the background. After a few minutes, the screen started flickering with static. Through the noise, the face of Professor Bubbles began to slowly appear. His mouth was moving, but no words came out, just silence. Then, out of nowhere, a chilling message appeared across the screen in white letters. They are no longer here. Moments later, the episode ended abruptly. No credits, no outro, just darkness. The network never acknowledged the broadcast, and no footage of it has ever resurfaced, but those who claim to have seen it say they were haunted by nightmares for days afterward. Whether it was a technical glitch, a hoax, or something much more sinister, no one really knows. But one thing's for sure, this so-called lost episode of Odyssey Bubbles has become one of the eeriest legends in Mexican television history.
The keys to what hundreds of millions of people see on TikTok are about to be handed to a Zionist billionaire who has actively financially assisted the IDF and who holds terrifying ideas about the role AI should play in our daily lives.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Weapons change over time, but we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are in social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok.
That was Israeli Prime Minister and genocidist Benjamin Netanyahu speaking last month on why TikTok matters for Israel's grip on power. Enter Larry Ellison, the 81-year-old Oracle co-founder and the world's second richest person, whose company is now set to take control of TikTok's data in the US and to retrain its algorithm from the ground up. It's part of Donald Trump's TikTok deal, which transfers majority control of the app's American arm from Chinese owner ByteDance to a consortium of tech moguls and Gulf royals. The upshot is, what 170 million US TikTok users see could effectively be shaped by a billionaire Republican megadonor with deep ties to Israel and its military.
For 2,000 years, we were a stateless people, and now we have a country of our own, defended by all the brave men and women of the IDF. So anything we can do to support them.
Ellison is the single biggest private donor to the Israeli Defense Forces. In 2017, he gave $16.6 million to Friends of the IDF, the largest donation in the organization's history. And he is reportedly close to Netanyahu himself, who once holidayed on Ellison's private Hawaiian island. Oracle is on the official BDS boycott list, supplying Israel's military and government with AI, cloud, and surveillance infrastructure. But there's more. Remember this story about a certain war criminal becoming the regent of Gaza? Larry Ellison is the biggest backer behind it. He's pumped at least £250 million into the Tony Blair Institute since 2021. According to a report by Lighthouse and the New Statesman, Blair's think tank has effectively become an offshoot of Oracle. It pushes policies that merge public services with private tech, exactly what Oracle profits from. The company already has contracts with the Home Office, Department of Work and Pensions, DEFRA, and the Ministry of Justice, and is increasingly embedded in NHS data systems. Last year, Blair and Ellison appeared together in Dubai, calling for citizen data to be merged into a single AI network. The data mogul's vision for the future is openly dystopian. At Oracle's analyst meeting last year, he envisioned round-the-clock monitoring of citizens by artificial intelligence through traffic cameras, doorbell cameras, and police body cams.
Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
Larry Ellison, it's well beyond technology, sort of CEO of everything.
Taking the reins of US TikTok's algorithm is the latest in the massive media empire Larry Ellison is building with his son David. The Ellisons already control one of the biggest news outlets in the United States, CBS. Now they're making a bid for Warner Brothers, home to HBO and CNN. With all of this in mind, there's no time like the present to support independent media that isn't backed by billionaires. Visit novaramedia.com/support.
So I guess America feel like playing with us, because what timeline are we in? The US Senate passed a bill making the bald eagle the national bird of the United States of America. I'm not a rocket scientist, but I know for sure that the bald eagle has always been the national bird of the United States of America. Am I wrong or not? And see, when people talk about timeline jumps and time shifts, other people look at them like something is wrong. But am I bugging? Because since I was young, the bald eagle has always been the national bird of the United States. You have a giant planet that just entered our solar system, and then allegedly AI confirms the existence of parallel dimensions. The United States want to play today. What timeline are we in? You see, because it's Mandela effects like these that make me feel like something is about to happen. And yeah, we're going to touch that planet, and we're going to touch that AI situation in another video. Because it's up today. We got to talk today. Something going on.
The new buddy has entered the villa.
Everything is alive. And the animals, the way they react, their instincts. One I will bring up, the cats are interesting. The cats are different. Remember, everything is energy. The dogs rely on smell, but the cats can see things we can't see. They said when they look at you or look at another person, they don't see you first. First they see an energy. then it forms into a person. And how many of you have watched cats staring at things you can't see? I had a cat that used to do that. He'd sit at the bottom of the steps, staring up the steps with that tail flicking back and forth like they do when they're watching something. And I say, oh, Boots, go catch a mouse or something, stop it. But they can see energy that we can't see. So everything has a little difference about it, but you've all been these things. In between, the animals and the plants are the nature spirits, the fairies, the dryads, the gnomes. When I'm in Ireland, they identify with the leprechauns, all the little people, the nature spirits. Their job is to take care of nature, take care of the plants, take care of the animals. You've all been those also. You've all had lives as that.
There is a specific reptilian race which we refer to as Zorgons. And from that, I would say I can confirm what you said about competing species. You said the Greys and a certain reptile species are in conflict. From that viewpoint, I would say that's the case.
And the Zorgon looks like what?
Dragon type, I would say.
With a long tail.
Do they have a long tail? I mean, it's relative, but yes, and they have a snout. So these are beings that also have cues to have done time modification and seem to be trying to slow down the evolution of Earth.
What you're looking at right here is a weapon charm from Call of Duty Black Ops 4. This weapon charm is called Yeah Science, and it's depicting a sun and moon the same size, the same distance away from the Earth, rotating around a flat Earth with a firmament. This is in a video game that many people played, and we all know how the elites like to put things, the truth in plain sight, to subliminally laugh and program the masses. Yeah Science. The firmament, the flat Earth, the sun and the moon rotating above us. This is what all of our ancestors told us, by the way. This is every single one of our ancient ancestors, the wisest people to walk this realm, told us that this is what it is. This is what we experience. This is what we see, by the way. And this is what they put in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Isn't that just super interesting? But the eyes are useless when the mind is blind. Peace and love.
This is the moon. You can see that when you use the right filtering, you can see the rays that are coming from the moon going straight down at that angle. You can see it again right here. I don't like showing this because it makes the moon look like a hologram, but it is what it is. You can see them going this way. This is with the moon. This is with my Nikon P900.
And I'm just going to run a straight slowed down view, 30%. If you've got sharp eyes, you'll see what we detected on a 60-inch monitor. Now look inside the circle. There's a pulse that goes from lower left to upper right, and in the next circle, the yellow one, there's a lateral sweep that goes from left to right, straight across the screen. And this is all going on as the wave is starting at the bottom. So now look at the pulses backwards and forwards. That's backwards. This is forwards, coming from the lower left limb of the moon. You can see the pulses now that I've put filters on them, how they have a curved aspect to them. And if you've got sharp eyes, you'll see the sweep up above. Now what I'm going to show you now, we have talked about, and many sharp-eyed viewers have known that this was an important thing about this clip for a long time. Here comes the wave. Look at the dark underlined crater in the center of your screen. Watch how it's displaced, almost like you're looking through water. There goes the wave backwards, forwards, the wave hits the crater, displaces. This wave is displacing, as if you were looking through water, the entire image of the moon.
Every casino cheats. When I first started saying it, people were like, no, casinos don't cheat. They don't have to. They have an edge. Let me make this so painfully obvious. You familiar with Baccarat?
Yeah, of course.
The game is virtually 50-50. It means you should win half your sessions, lose half your sessions. Then why does everybody plays Baccarat always lose everything every time? You know the shuffle machines like in Blackjack box?
Yeah, it shoots out the decks.
I know the guy who helped create the technology in there that puts all the cards back in correct order. So the shuffle machine, they have eyes on there that's reading every card, and the shuffling machine, you think it's shuffling randomly. It's not. It's putting all those cards in a certain position. It's a fact.
So are they all doing that then?
And then they eat their body parts.
Different type of pepperoni, right?
Pepperoni is for black children.
What's the term for the white one?
I think it's just cheese pizza. Yeah.
You should have heard what they call crust.
Really?
Really? Just the crust. You never knew that. I don't even want to explain what that is.
I can only imagine.
What's that, Asians? Yeah, it's Asians.
Not 100%.
How willing are you to, like, be a part of an expose on the Illuminati?
Oh, I have no worries about it. I mean, it's just...
Because you would become a target, right? And you would.
Yeah.
Solo has been invited to an Illuminati get-together.
Oh, cool. Okay.
He was able to get a +2.
Oh, yeah.
What we're looking for is someone to come as well, someone with knowledge, like yourself.
Here in law enforcement, I actually joined the Brotherhood of Freemasons.
Okay. Yeah, how'd you get into that? How'd you get into that?
Man, you know, a lot of cops are involved with that.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's a thing that I'm not saying you must do, but 95% of them do. You know what I mean?
So this actually exists.
Yes, it does. It's the occult. It's nothing to be messing with.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you straight up.
Get that far?
Oh yeah, I became a master mason. I mean, the highest you go is 33rd, but even at 32nd, see, from the ranks of 30th to 33, which is 3, that's when they divulge the actual truth. In order for you to be a Shriner, you got to be a Mason. For you to be a Knights Templar, you got to be a Mason. And the more you go up in that pyramid, and the highest you could go is a Rothschild.
Right.
They're the highest of the highest.
Really?
Yeah, they're the satanic children of Satan.
Wow.
They actually sit on the table, and they have a special chair for Satan right there. And he comes and talks to these family members, and they're the ones that the shaking and bakers, I call it.
Now, this all has to do also with the those people who go out into the wood and they burn that wooden owl and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you talking about those the Illuminati?
Illuminati. Okay. So
Right.
This has to do with them.
Oh yeah, you have to be a Freemason to be there. All the presidents were Freemasons.
Okay.
A small portion weren't, but they were Jesuits. This is the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, even the Pope, everything is controlled by the white and black Pope. So
Yeah.
black and white, which is a white and black time.
Espera. Gente, ustedes están viendo lo que yo estoy viendo. No, esto no puede ser verdad. ¿Qué? ¿Qué mierda es esto, gente?
Benjamin Netanyahu, whose real last name is Malachowski, another topic for another day, told President Trump, remove the name of the state of Israel from the JFK files. Why? Why would it be a threat that the state of Israel would have to be removed from the JFK files, including the Mossad, because they were involved in the Kennedy assassination, because JFK wanted David Ben-Gurion to shut down that nuclear plant in Dimona, Israel. Gaddafi said it too. Gaddafi had exposed this. That's why they killed Gaddafi. He wasn't gassing these people. He exposed who took out JFK. Not just the CIA, the Mossad. Okay? So the Mossad told Trump, do not have or name the Mossad in the JFK files, so remove it. Okay.
I'll be 59 tomorrow. I'll be 59 in November. Shut the up. Yeah.
Bro, you look like you younger than me, though. I just remember. I can remember how old you was. I just knew you was older than me.
Yeah.
But the last time when I found out how old you was, you remember when we was in
Black. I like to say that, yeah.
Why they call you Zach the Crack?
Well, no. My character name will probably just Zach. Zachary Taylor.
Oxford researchers just confirmed what we feared. The internet, as we know it, is dying. Now that is the opening line of a post referencing this chart. It shows that for the first time ever, AI-generated news articles have now outnumbered those written by real humans. Only 5 years ago, this was near 100% human, 0% AI. But in 2022, when ChatGPT launched, everything changed. Now, as someone in the news space, this was pretty shocking, especially since the post then goes on to say that projections say 90% plus will be AI by next year. And to make it worse, quote, the real crisis is model collapse. When AI trains on AI-generated content, quality degrades like photocopying a photocopy, rare ideas disappear, everything converges into generic sameness. Sounds like some freaking dead internet theory type shit. So naturally, do some research and turns out this wasn't from Oxford. Rather, an SEO company carrying out a study using AI to detect if an article was written by AI. Their own methodology says that many argue detecting AI is impossible or at best, highly inaccurate. So that throws into question if this graph is even correct. But let's just say for a second it is. What the article also didn't include is the number of views each article had, because the total number of AI-written articles is meaningless if no one is reading them. But what about the crisis of model collapse we were warned of if AI is trained on AI? Well, I went back to the original post and lo and behold, I found a human AI expert who worked at Meta, Uber, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and he said, quote, model collapse is widely considered not a real problem. He then lists the reasons why and provided research to back up his claim. Bro, and at this point, I am baffled. Everything this post told me was sus, but then there's the kicker. I looked for who wrote it, and it wasn't a who. It's an it. Perplexity AI. Bro, how the hell is AI gonna fearmonger humans about AI? God damn. Here's the thing. Just when I was about to wage war against the machines, I remembered, when you get hit by a car, you don't blame the car, you blame the driver. AI is not killing the future. Humans are.
Why do you think that every state has a different set of laws? We have a common law, right? Federal and all that. But then we have state laws. That's where they got us. Because how can you drive a car or have a gun or all these other things? You need a license for them. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? So it's in our Constitution, a right to bear arms. Why do I need a license?
Yeah, because there's no right to drive a car.
The right to travel. Right. And this is why if a cop stops you, I'm traveling my own capacity.
Yeah.
I'm not driving. This is the scam system that we're in when it comes to the money, sovereignty, corporation. When you establish a corporation, it's a corporation that's, it's dead. It's a dead entity. This is how their magic works, right? So like, it's on your dollars, symbolism, Freemasons use symbolism, all this stuff that we use today, it's all occult magic. Riverbank, current, C. I need to be liquid in order to pay for this. So we're using language of sea because there's more of the sea than there is of the land. So it's maritime admiralty law. It's a law of the sea that governs everything. This is what this is based on. So when you're at birth and you're like a ship, a doctor delivers who you are, and your manifest is your birth certificate. Why do we need birth certificates? Because they trade on it. The IMF has a deal to where every driver's license, birth certificate, any kind of license, they trade on the open market. You're a stock. So this is why, you have Social Security. They're paying you pennies on the dollar to what you're owed already.
And I know about, with debt, to say I owe $20,000 for a payment. Once I defer it, it gets to a point where people are just selling and buying my debt.
Yeah, so even with the credit system, so when they sell your debt, you're not responsible for that debt anymore. So when they call you, hey, you have this is someone's who are you? I don't have a contract with you. Somebody sold your debt, so hang up.
If I would have found out about Uber and how they were going to do it early on, based on the little information I know, I would have jumped all over this. Because I understand what a driver's license is. When you have a driver's license, that means you're operating in commerce. Right when I heard that they were doing it, I was like, fuck. Yep. It's absolutely 100% gonna go through and they're not gonna be able to stop it because that's exactly what a driver's license is.
Why do you think we have to register our car with the state every year? Why do you have to know where my car is at any given time and know the information and this and that? So if you park in a red zone, that's what they can do. They can tow your car. You own the loan or you're paying on the loan. Some stranger can just pick up your material.
They're using the statutes to manipulate the law.
Right, UCC, Uniform Commercial Codes. This is all part of the system. When they put, a UCC lien on you or they can dip into your account, and that's the thing, people really think they own shit, but they don't.
Yeah.
Nightmare Hall.
When you get into some of Dr. York's publications, they talk about Nightmare Hall. Nightmare Hall is connected to the deep underground military bunker systems. This is where you got to watch the movie Cabin in the Woods. The movie Cabin in the Woods, they're going to show you that there's bunker systems inside Hollow Earth. And these bunker systems, they have cryptids, and a lot of these cryptids is connected to the 72 demons of Boeotia. And a lot of these cryptids are also known as the Nephilim that step inside the bottomless pit that they talk about in the book of Revelations. And then when you're going to have a smorgasbord event, which is the final sacrifice, and a lot of these cryptids is going to come to the surface and feed on humanity as you have these world leaders go inside their bunker systems, just like they did in the movie Leave the World Behind. Because the movie Leave the World Behind wasn't just a movie, it was a documentary about what's going to be taking place in the future before the agenda for 2030.
And it's coming down to hybridization programs running by each agenda here. We have the Elohim running their particular agenda, which is more interested in helping the Anunnaki races, since they were their Anu races, than helping the human race by itself. They don't want to hurt the human race. They're just willing to take the human and combine it with Anunnaki, realizing that the Anunnaki code is so strong that it will override the 12-strand. The Anunnaki will pick up the missing 12-strand and get its code, but it will unravel the human gene code back to a 10. It's not an evolutionary experiment. It's in our best interest. It's in the Anunnaki best interest, but at our expense. That's why it's not endorsed by the Azurite Council or the Emerald Order. It's supposed to be win-win for everybody. In the law of one, there are win-win solutions that everybody can get what they need from. This matrix is not cooperating with that. Some of them are going to be coming over on this side the more weird things get between now and 2012 when it all comes to a head. Over there, they just want to take over the planet because they want the stargates that are the center of this planet. They don't care what they have to do to the race here. They want one world order control. They're trying to do mind control here. And they're trying to hybridize a version of themselves here that can take over the planet. That's their only concern of the human lineage. It has codes that are compatible with the atmospheric conditions on Earth. They're trying to get that higher codings and bring in their higher levels of consciousness into form here so they can become the dominant force of this planet. Then we have these guys, the good guys over here saying, these guys don't stand a chance if we don't intervene. And they have intervened. That intervention is the indigo children. The indigo children are a hybridized gene code that, that involve the full coding that goes up. They're not just Adami imprint humans. They're not just Turnisium with the 12th strand. Some of them are Orifeme with 24 to 30 strand capacity. Some of them are Emerald Order. The indigos returning. The indigos coming into this race cycle where they normally would not belong, and the only reason they're being put here is because we're in big trouble if they don't come. This race will never again be able to reach its 12th strand if this evolutionary experiment isn't done now to give us back a real jump start in the gene code. You're not dealing with Turnisium souls incarnating here. You're dealing with Orifeme and Emerald Order souls incarnating here. What they are Elohai from Harmonic 4. These are avatars. They're connected directly to their ascended master levels of consciousness. Some of them are Ekars. There are 3 types that we'll get into later after we come back from lunch. But these are not even what's considered human consciousness anymore. They're way back up the scale. They're incarnating avatars. It is the return of the Emerald Order that we are seeing in the indigo children. And there is one group of them that are having the hardest time of all. And these are the ones that are getting a lot of problems with the ADD and all sorts of behavioral issues. And they can be living demons sometimes. And this is why. Type 3, which we'll talk about later a little bit more with the other types. Type 3 indigo child is a very unique one. It's not just an Orifeme incarnating or an Emerald Order with the higher codes. It is an Orifeme avatar that has made an agreement with one of the races over here called the Nephilim. Okay, Nephilim pop up. Actually, they're running through these lines. They're also running through these lines. Nephilim were part human and part Anunnaki from the second seeding of our race down here. They were the giants that we talked about earlier. The giants came. There were books of the Bible written on this that were destroyed. They came down, they interbred here, and they created physical beings here that were giants, and a whole bunch of them were kicked off the planet because they were going to totally erode the gene code here, and they were going to totally take dominion over the planet. That was not the plan. It was not supposed to be an Anunnaki planet. They have their own. Stay off ours. So, anyway, the Nephilim have been stuck in their own evolution. They have an 11-strand capacity, which is better than the dark matrix, but they're still not plugged into their full avatar level of consciousness, their Christos, and they cannot finish transmuting beyond that point. So they're a bunch of D11 avatars stuck. Where are they going to go? They can either join with these guys and continue sucking energy from other life forms and planetary systems, or they can start to realize they got a problem. And yes, you may be some of the most intelligent intellectual beings in the universe, but you don't know how to feel anymore because you don't have the frequencies because you're missing the DNA. If you want to evolve, you need help. There are agreements being made all up and down here. Hybridization programs that will allow the ones who want to cross over from either the very dark or the middle dark back into the ascension codes. Type 3 indigo is a hybrid consciousness, not just gene code. It is 2 avatar identities in one body. They are literally 2 different families of consciousness. It's not just having, let's say with a walk-in, they're both out of the same family of consciousness, where you have one come in and raise the body for a little while and that one ascends, and then you have the other one come in. They're all related. They have the same flash line coding. You're having 2 diametrically opposite flash line sequence coded beings coming into one manifest incarnation. It can create an extreme polarity problem, an extreme from one side to the other. You may be lucky and come out with an indigo that is absolutely angelic when it's a kid. It may turn into a person that has one of those diseases where they become raving lunatics when they're 60 years old because they get one of these diseases where they start to bark and all sorts of wild other stuff. The negative side will come out if these things aren't harmonized. The purpose for these type 3 indigos is to allow a new opportunity, a new race line of evolution for the Nephilim avatars who want to cross back over into the light, to have a new race line they can evolve through. And at the same time, it's helping us, because from all of our history that has been hidden for the last 200,000 years, where the Anunnaki came down and messed with the gene pool here, most of us have Anunnaki coding in us now, whether we want it or not. If we're going to evolve, some of us have so much Anunnaki coding that to get the 12 strand back, we need that intervention race too. By helping the Nephilim evolve, the indigos are giving a place where the Nephilim and the human strains contaminated by Anunnaki can incarnate next into that form and start to clear out their codes and work out their polarity balances so they can then go into the Taurinicium imprint. What it will give the Nephilim is the ability to pick up that one extra strand. They have 11 strands. They'll be able to pick up the one extra strand, but their 11 strands are reversed. That fire letter sequence is turned around backwards. What this will do is turn it back around forward and give them the extra strand so they can finally ascend, hook up with the Rishi, and they're out of here. It will also help the humans whose gene code has been contaminated by the Anunnaki coding to do the same, piece by piece, lifetime by lifetime. But they come in with a huge burden of trying to balance the polarities of the universe within themselves. The Orifeme imprint is dominant, and that's the only way these avatars from the negative side get to come over. They have to agree to be in subservience to the little bit higher coded avatar coming in with the Orifeme. Now the Orifeme have much higher coding. They go from 24 up to 48 coding. That's the only level coding that would not get reversed itself by combining it with an 11-strand Nephilim. So you couldn't do it with a Taurinicium, a regular human. You had to go to the level above. Type 3 indigos, which are the predominant ones now. There's about 2,500,000 of them on planet right now. These are the ones that are having real problems with the energies, the chemical imbalances, the issues. They're here to resolve the polarity balances of the races. They have within them some of the highest avatar, and they have within them some of the most screwed up avatar. But they are avatars that are trying to balance that within themselves. Most of them will never become conscious of who they are on that level. They need help balancing the polarities. And we'll talk more about the other 2 types, which is much less scary.